Presidents run countries, give speeches, and sometimes fall flat on their faces. From accidental peeing to surprise slaps, these African leaders have given us more than just policies. They've given us pure comedy gold. Get ready to laugh, cringe, and say, wait, did that really happen? This is 17 most embarrassing moments of African presidents ever caught on camera, where power meets oops. Number 17 is what happens when your mouth loads slower than your brain. Zuma edition. When Jacob Zuma, former president of South Africa, stood at the podium to recite a Bible verse, no one expected a linguistic boxing match. He tried to say, in the beginning, but ended up creating a brand new word.
In the beginning. Yeah. In the beginning.
It was like watching a live software glitch. The crowd waited, the camera zoomed, and the memes were born. To this day, no one really knows what verse he was reading, or how many beginnings there were supposed to be. South Africans now just call it Zuma's Genesis remix. At 16, Tinubu's trip reminds us that even presidents need good balance. During Nigeria's 2024 Democracy Day celebration, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu tried to make a grand entrance at Eagle Square. He walked confidently toward the presidential parade vehicle, waved at the crowd, and then, boom! The man went down like Wi-Fi during NEPA blackout. Security rushed in. The nation gasped. But Tinubu, he got up, dusted himself off, and continued like a champ. Later, he joked about it. I was just paying respect to my ancestors. Whether it was ancestral tribute or slippery flooring, one thing's for sure, his fall made headlines faster than a budget approval. At number 15, President Salva Kiir proves that even world leaders aren't safe from bathroom emergencies. At a road inauguration ceremony in 2022, South Sudan's President Salva Kiir stood proudly for the national anthem. But then, the camera panned down, and there it was, a wet patch growing by the second. Yes, the president had peed himself, live on camera, in front of military generals, diplomats, school kids, and probably the ancestors too. The clip went viral faster than election rumors, and in typical authoritarian fashion, 6 journalists were arrested for leaking the footage. Some say it was a health issue, others say it was nerves. But we say, when you gotta go, even if you're the president. At number 14, Robert Mugabe touches down, face first. In 2015, the late President Robert Mugabe returned from an African Union summit looking sharp and ready to address his supporters. He walked down the red carpet at Harare Airport like a boss, until gravity decided to fight back. One missed step, and boom! Comrade Bob hit the floor faster than the Zimbabwean dollar during inflation. Security tried to block cameras, but sorry, too late. Every photographer had already captured it from 12 different angles. Twitter renamed it the fall of a regime. When asked about it later, Mugabe brushed it off with presidential pride. It was just a slip. Yeah, a very historical one. At number 13, South Africa's deputy president drops harder than a network signal in the bush. In September 2024, South Africa's deputy president, Paul Mashatile, was attending a cultural event, singing, dancing, and smiling everywhere, until boom! Mashatile collapsed on stage like a dropped Bluetooth connection. At first, the audience thought it was part of the performance. Then came panic, medics, and a flurry of what just happened. Luckily, he regained consciousness and walked off with help. But the memes? Oh, they didn't walk, they ran. Some people captioned it. Even his body is tired of South African politics. One thing's for sure, next time there's a traditional drumbeat, Mashatile might just stay seated. At number 12, the chair that betrayed a politician. During a live parliamentary session, a South African politician was passionately discussing policy, trying to sound smart and serious, when his chair had other plans. Without warning, bam! He toppled backward mid-sentence like a cartoon character. Was it sabotage? Was it karma? Or just a wobbly chair from government procurement? We may never know. But the reaction in Parliament? A mix of gasps, awkward silence, and stifled laughter. Viewers at home, dying. The clip exploded online with captions like, "This is how bad ideas collapse too." Even the chair couldn't support that opinion. He stood up quickly, but his dignity stayed down. At number 11, the PDP rally turns into WWE, people dropping politicians. During a high-energy PDP campaign rally, party leaders climbed the stage, music was blaring, and the crowd was electric. Until the stage said, "I've had enough." In a blink, part of the platform collapsed under their feet, sending politicians tumbling like bowling pins in Ugandas. Microphones flew, caps rolled, and one guy held onto a banner like it was a parachute. The crowd? Shocked. The internet? Delighted. The headline could have read, "Opposition Party Falls." Literally. Luckily, no one was seriously injured, just pride and political balance. At number 10, Ramaphosa walked into the press conference, but only the flag made a real statement. What looked like a scene straight out of a sitcom, President Cyril Ramaphosa was at a UN Security Council event when the South African flag turned on him. Yes, you heard that right. The flag tried to assassinate him. Mid-press conference, the national flag swooped down, brushing his face and nearly knocking his glasses off. Ramaphosa flinched like he was dodging a karate chop from Medisha's ghost. The bodyguards blinked. The internet clapped. Social media dubbed it, "When even the flag is tired of corruption." South Africa's first fabric-led rebellion. Ramaphosa laughed it off, but the flag? Still undefeated. At number 9, Gambia's leader promised a miracle cure and delivered a national embarrassment. In one of the wildest presidential plot twists ever, former Gambian President Yahya Jammeh woke up one day and decided, "Forget doctors, I'm the cure now." He claimed he could personally cure HIV and AIDS using a mysterious herbal mix and his bare hands. Yes, he was doing faith healing with leaves and lotion. He forced thousands of patients to abandon real treatment and line up for his jungle juice therapy. Spoiler alert, it didn't work. The world watched in horror. Scientists were horrified. Twitter was in stitches. One Gambian elder said if laughter was medicine, Jammeh would have cured the whole country. But sadly, people suffered. And to this day, it remains one of the most embarrassing and dangerous stunts ever pulled by an African leader. At number 8, Ramaphosa tried to lead by example and got betrayed by elastic. During the COVID-19 pandemic, President Cyril Ramaphosa went live on national TV to deliver a serious message about mask wearing. He ended the speech with a noble gesture. He'd show the people how to properly wear a mask. But what followed was presidential disaster. He fumbled the elastic, stretched it the wrong way, and ended up covering his eyes, nose, and part of his ear. For a moment, he looked like South Africa's first blind ninja president. Twitter exploded. Instagram launched the hashtag mask challenge. Even TikTok joined the roast. Ramaphosa tried to keep a straight face, but clearly knew the mask had won. We're calling on all South Africans to wear a face mask. Even the word betrayed him. Coming in at 7, Uganda's prime minister proves age and ankles are not a friendly match. Just before a ceremonial football match, Uganda's first deputy prime minister, Moses Ali, decided to show he's still got the skills. He approached the ball like Messi. The crowd held their breath. He kicked, he slipped, he hit the ground like a dropped watermelon. One moment he was launching the ball, the next, he was launching himself. Soldiers rushed to help him up while the stadium tried to suppress its collective giggle. The ball, still rolling, his dignity, left behind at midfield. The clip went viral with fans saying he tackled himself before the game even started. At number 6, Medisha ditches policy and goes straight for an accent roast. During a heated debate in Parliament, South African politician Willie Medisha decided to take a detour from policy straight into petty politics. He mocked Minister Naledi Pandor's accent right there on the floor of the House. The chamber was stunned. Some laughed, some face-palmed. Even the speaker looked like he wanted to unplug the microphone. Twitter dragged him with captions like, "Willie, focus on bills, not accents." English is the only thing he attacked successfully in Parliament. Let's just say his roast didn't age well, and his seat suddenly got very warm in the next election. At number 5, when Cameroon's president met world leaders and asked, "Who are these people?" In the US-Africa summit in Washington, D.C., President Paul Biya of Cameroon walked into the room, looked around at world leaders and asked, "Who are all these people? Are they important? Sir, you're the one giving the speech." The 91-year-old president looked so lost, you'd think someone dropped him off at the wrong summit. His assistant had to gently whisper into his ear, probably something like, "Sir, That's the President of the United States. Please read the paper. It was peak confusion. The audience? Stunned. The internet? Ruthless. Cameroonians cringed. The world chuckled, and Twitter said, "When your grandpa wanders into a TED Talk by mistake." It was funny, but also a little sad. And maybe, just maybe, a hint that it's time to, retire. At number 4, Emmanuel Macron reaches out to shake a hand and gets a full French Revolution across the face. In 2021, during a presidential visit to a small town in southeastern France, Emmanuel Macron strolled over to greet the crowd, hand out, smile on, classic photo op style. Then out of nowhere, slap! A man from the crowd reached out and gave Macron a full 5-finger reality check across the face. Security was late by about 2 seconds, but that was enough. The sound echoed like a plot twist. Macron flinched, but stayed composed. The slapper? Arrested immediately. The meme world? Thriving. Twitter users were brutal. When democracy slaps back, even France is tired of polite politics. It was quick, shocking, and yes, undeniably awkward. At number 3, 1 red carpet, 1 presidential couple, and 1 flying hand from Brigitte. During an official visit to Vietnam in May 2025, President Emmanuel Macron and First Lady Brigitte Macron stepped off the plane looking polished and presidential. Then boom, Brigitte slapped him, right there, on the red carpet, in front of cameras, in front of officials, in front of everyone. The sound was crystal clear. The moment? Instantly iconic. Macron, trying to keep his cool, reached out to hold her hand afterward like nothing happened. But Brigitte hit him with a presidential level nope. Body language experts, tabloids, and aunties on Facebook all had a field day. Some said it was stress. Others said it was payback. But the internet? Oh, the internet crowned her First Lady of the Backhand. You've heard of international diplomacy. This was an international drama. Number 2, when Kenya's president mixed up a speech with a toast. At a public event meant to be serious and statesmanlike, former Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta stepped up to the mic, visibly sloshed. He slurred, he swayed, he smiled way too hard at absolutely nothing. At one point, he started talking to the air like it owed him money. Security looked nervous. The crowd looked confused, and the nation, embarrassed but also highly entertained. It wasn't even the first time either. Uhuru had developed a bit of a reputation for appearing tipsy at official events. Social media went wild. Uhuru's speech sponsored by Kenya Cane. From State House to Steakhouse real quick. Even political opponents didn't attack him. They were too busy laughing. At number 1, the U.S. president goes down like a plot twist in a slow-motion action movie. While handing out diplomas in the U.S. at the Air Force graduation ceremony, President Joe Biden was strutting across the stage, confident, smiling, pointing at cadets. Then it happened. Trip, stumble, full-on fall. He hit the floor like a dropped textbook. The Secret Service rushed in like Avengers, and Biden, like the champ he is, got up, pointed at the sandbag like it started a war and kept moving. The internet? Ruthless. Fell with honors. Summa cum oops. Even African presidents watching probably went, phew, not just us. If you laughed, smash that like button, share this video, and subscribe for more political bloopers from around the continent.